as you can see, I'm back with another ASMR video. Hi, hello. As you can see, again, from the title, the thumbnail, the basketball tapping. We're gonna be talking sports today. I'm just doing a roundup of whatever kind of sports talk we can find and think of to sort of chat about. The NBA season is pretty much over. Playoffs are about to start. The MLB baseball season is finally here. NCAA March Madness is coming to a close very soon. And anything else we can think of, Champions League soccer, Premier League, hockey, anything else, I guess we'll find out in the video. Make sure, of course, you also like the video as well. It really helps out these videos so much, and especially if you guys like the sports talk, the sports whisper rambling. Make sure you guys like the video, help support the channel. And also comment down below anything sporty related, or even just to support the channel. Comment the thumbs up button. That helps out too. Anything you want to talk about down in the comments, how your team is doing, your favorite teams maybe you don't like, maybe your picks for championship games and stuff like that. Let me know about that stuff down in the comments. So as per usual, I'm gonna be rounding out the NBA season. It's pretty much over. I think the NBA season officially ends, oh man, I think sometime around April, like the second week of April. Then, of course, the NBA playoffs start. The last time we did one of these videos, we did a mock NBA playoff sort of look through, and that was actually a lot of fun. I'm not going to do that today. I might actually take a look at maybe some sort of like the NBA draft kind of thing, or maybe some random articles that we can find, or maybe even some highlights we can watch together. Something kind of fun like that. But first off, we have to start with the standings. So with a couple weeks left in the NBA season, starting out the Eastern Conference first. First in the NBA Eastern Conference is the Cleveland Cavaliers with almost 60 wins. Man, that is crazy. Number 2, we have the Boston Celtics. 3, the New York Knicks. 4th, the Pacers. 5th, the Pistons. 6th, the Milwaukee Bucks. 7th, we have the Hawks. 8th, the Magic. 9th, the Bulls. And 10th, the Miami Heat. Then you have the Raptors, Sixers, Nets, Hornets, and Wizards, all out of that playoff play-in zone in that specific order. So anything I really wanted to talk about the NBA Eastern Conference first. Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers having 60 wins. Big round of applause. Man, who would have thought anytime relatively soon without LeBron James on that roster that Cleveland would be back to a 60-win team? That's actually super impressive, and all it took was a pretty massive trade from Donovan Mitchell and really good drafting with Garland, Mobley, trading for Jared Allen. The depth of that team has definitely grown to be a lot stronger over the past handful of years. They've done a very good job over there in Cleveland, and now they are looking like a contender. Maybe. I think everyone's claws on the Cavaliers is always, well, let's wait and see what happens for the playoffs, and I'm always on that boat as well. Pacers, Pistons, and Bucks kind of all clamped together for that 4, 5, and 6 spots. Obviously, of course, with Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard being out for possibly the rest of the NBA season. He's out indefinitely, which we've talked about that term indefinitely before. It just means he doesn't have a timelined return. He could be back in 2 weeks. He could be back in 3 months. There's no timetable for his return. You know, I think he might be out for maybe at least the first round of the playoffs, unless that information has changed. By the way, I should mention very quickly, I am filming this kind of earlier in the night than I usually film. I'm filming this kind of right after some basketball games I was watching earlier, so if there's any news I'm missing out on or not really super keen on, since you're watching this, let me know down in the comments if there's any news I'm missing out on, but I think his timetable of return is, we don't know yet. But with Dame being out, that team is probably going to be stuck there at the 6th spot. I think Pistons steal 5th. The Pacers, I think, do hold on to the home court. I think their team is pretty deep. Even if they do sit Tyrese a couple times and blah, 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 they'll be fine. And I also think the Pistons have been resting Cade Cunningham recently, so I'm honestly thinking those top 6 spots are locked. I think this might be exactly where we see the playoffs in the NBA Eastern Conference. So we have a Pacers, Pistons potential first round matchup, Knicks, Bucks. I actually really like that, and I do think Cavs hold that number 1 with the Celtics being second. The fall of the Orlando Magic is still in play. They are on a 2-game losing streak, which is, a 1-game losing streak as of right now, which is insane. And they have the same amount of wins as the Atlanta Hawks. The Chicago Bulls have 2 less wins than the Orlando Magic. Man, the Orlando Magic were looking so good this year. Everybody thought this was finally going to be the Orlando Magic's year, and then injuries. And then when those injuries hit, they just didn't do anything about it. They made no trades. They just stayed exactly the way they were. And I think we can all say that that was not the right move. They needed to definitely make a move to try to improve. And they just kind of settled for this season when they definitely should have made a push on the sort of momentum that they were having at the start of the year. And now that momentum is completely gone. And honestly, they're just going to be another first round out now, facing off against a really good contender like the Cavs or the Celtics. It's kind of sad, to be honest. The Bulls have been looking a lot better, being on a 4-game win streak. Yes, I did see the Chicago Bulls insane ending with that LA Laker game. I was actually live streaming that night, which, by the way, if you don't know, I do ASMR live streams every Monday and Thursday. Every Monday night and Thursday night here on YouTube, right here where you are. Yes, you right there. I do live streams on here, so people are coming in the chat and telling me, oh my god, the Laker Bowl game. So after the stream, I looked it up, and man, that game was insane. They're on a 4-game win streak. Miami's also looking pretty good on a 3-game win streak. That last little bland spot, kind of getting a little spicy there, but it's looking like it's going to be the Bulls in the Heat there. And in the bottom of the East all suck. They're all tanking. The Sixers only won 23 games so far this year, the same as the Brooklyn Nets, which is wild to think about. And the Wizards are definitely trying to hold on to that best possible spot to get the number 1 overall pick, potentially Cooper Flag, which we will be talking about very soon. Over in the Western Conference, number 1 overall seed and the best team, at least record-wise, in the NBA. We have the Oklahoma City Thunder at 61 wins. We have the Houston Rockets in 2nd, which I'm surprised they even climbed back up to 2nd. 3rd, we have the Nuggets. 4th, the Lakers. 5th, the Grizzlies. 6th, the Clippers. 7th, the Warriors. 8th, Minnesota. 9, Kings. 10th, the Mavs. Then we have the Suns, Blazers, Spurs, Pelicans, and Jazz, also all in that order, 11th to 15th. Ooh, boy, oh boy. Yeah, that round of 2 to about 5 has been wild the past couple weeks. Teams are kind of separating themselves, you can say, finally. Because for a while, that sort of 2 to 5 range for the Western Conference has been up for grabs. But right now, Rockets are in 2nd with 48 wins. Grizzlies are in 5th with 44 wins. About a 4-game gap with about 2 weeks left, 3 weeks left in the season. It's starting to look like the Rockets and the Nuggets will be battling out for that number 2 seed. And then you have the Lakers and Grizzlies are going to be flip-flopping around. Maybe the Clippers and Warriors could find their way into that. Maybe even the Timberwolves at 8, who only have 42 wins, could sneak in there too. I think we need to find some teams who are going to be streaking their way into the playoffs. And some teams kind of tripping over themselves, hobbling their way into the playoffs, which, as we've seen, it might look like that will be the Lakers with all the injuries they've been having with LeBron and just the bad luck they've been having with, again, that crazy end to that Chicago Bull game. Also, a team that might be in that sort of category is the Memphis Grizzlies, who just fired their head coach. Yeah, a team that for a while now was the number 2 seed in the Western Conference got fired. Like, that is insane. Now, if you're a fan of this said franchise, you might be okay with this. I think I saw a stat where I think almost all of the wins that the Memphis Grizzlies have been having the past couple weeks were just below 500 or below par, if you don't know that term. NBA teams. They've been really struggling to compete with the best of the best, which, if you're Memphis, that's always been the slack that you guys have been getting this entire run that they've been on the past couple years. They've been a good regular season team, but when it comes to beating the best teams in the playoffs, they can't do it. If they go up against a Laker or a Dallas or a Timberwolf team, they're going to lose because or even the Golden State Warriors, of course, they don't have that oomph to get them over that hump. And I guess their first shot at changing that is firing their head coach, which in my opinion, I forget his first name, but I think his last name is Jenkins, I think he's a pretty solid head coach. I think he's better than most. I guess they're betting on they can find better elsewhere, which I guess applaud them for making some sort of change, and maybe there's some sort of locker room drama that we just don't know about, but new head coach for an NBA playoff team that's pretty solid in that role. Can't wait to see what happens. Nuggets have been looking really good. The Rockets are on a roll. Clippers, Warriors, and Timberwolves are all in that 6 to 8 range. Those teams are scary. I think the top seeded teams, like the Rockets, Denver, of course even the Thunder, really don't want to see those teams, especially the Golden State Warriors, when they're healthy. I think Steph Curry's been out for a while, which is good. Obviously you want to rest Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler's been able to keep that team afloat for a little while they're just kind of resting for hopefully a good playoff run. Warriors versus Rockets, Warriors versus OKC. You really don't want that veteran-led team with potential playoff Jimmy Butler to be seen playing against one of those younger squads like Memphis, we just mentioned. Then you have the Kings and the Mavericks and the Suns, kind of all battling for a play-in spot. My Portland Trailblazers dream, I guess. Yeah, that's the dream. But the Blazers' dream of being a play-in team this year has definitely come to an end. They've been dropping way too easy of games, like Boston, who don't even play Jimmy Butler or Jason Tatum, lose. Playing Cleveland without Donovan Mitchell and even some of their other stars, lose. Don't get me started on that rant, but it looks like it's going to be Phoenix Mavericks or Kings for those two final play-in spots. Apparently Anthony Davis is trying to make a comeback over Dallas, so maybe Dallas is trying to make the play-in for whatever reason. That's crazy how the Suns are still batting for the play-in, even though they have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. Insane. And then you have the bottom of the barrel of the West Sox, Jazz, Pelicans, Spurs. Kinda yikes. The Spurs are definitely super tanky now, because not only is Victor Wembanyama out for the rest of the year, De'Aaron Fox also underwent some sort of random surgery. So the Spurs are in super tank mode. Again, I've mentioned this theory before. You know, I feel really bad for Wemby. I feel really bad for De'Aaron Fox, but like, you can't tell me the Spurs are just not tanking. They are tanking so hard. It's pretty obvious. But hopefully those guys are doing good. Let's sort of shake up a little bit what we're talking about. Yes, I know March Madness is going on, but I don't want to talk too much basketball in this video. The MLB season, though, did kick off, which was pretty exciting for those people who like baseball, I guess. Let's see here for the first official couple games. Some of the teams have been looking extremely well. Also, I will say, I checked some of the box scores. No, I do not really watch baseball on TV. I do love watching baseball in person. Going to baseball games is like one of my favorite things ever. I'm actually kind of tempted to maybe go to like a Dodger game this year down in LA. Let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see like an ASMR in public video at an LA Dodger game this year. That could be kind of fun. But the offenses of some teams have been looking a lot of fun. But taking a look at the standings very early on, the Yankees won their first game really nice, and so have the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah, the White Sox and Guardians also winning their games, with the Detroit Lions Detroit Tigers already having 2 losses on the year. That's kind of rough to start the year, not gonna lie. The Oakland Athletics are 1-1. Not bad for a team that's kind of poverty right now. And that's the same range that my favorite team, the Angels, still have not won a game this year, but maybe that'll change. They only played 1 game. Braves are also on that 2-game losing streak as well. Somehow the Cubs have already played 4 games. Don't know how that's happened, but some teams have only played 1 game. Some teams are almost on their 5th game of the year. Scheduling is crazy. Then you have the Padres, 2 wins, another one of my favorite teams, and the defending champs are 4-0 already. Man, who's gonna beat the Dodgers, man? Who is gonna beat the Dodgers? I have no idea. And I guess that's sort of my next thing. People asking me how I feel about the MLB season. Yeah, the Dodgers. The Dodgers are the team to beat. The Dodgers are really good. The Dodgers are my pick to win this upcoming championship World Series run. If you guys didn't know, back in October, I went to Vegas and actually watched the World Series win of the Dodgers in Las Vegas. That was a lot of fun. You know, Vegas, LA, they always share team fandoms. So it was wild in Vegas. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, that is the team to beat. No fancy things to talk about with that. That is just what it is. Some upcoming games. Let's see if there's any good ones coming up soon. Let's see. Dodgers and Tigers play off against each other again. Dodgers again being 4-0. You have the Athletics versus the Mariners, which is kind of cool. When are the Athletics supposed to move to Vegas? I know Vegas, demolished this huge hotel a handful of months ago, and it's been not even rumored, it's kind of been confirmed that that plot of land is being used to build the new Oakland Athletic Stadium for Vegas, their Vegas move, which, oh my god, dude, that would be so much fun to be able to go to Vegas and go see a baseball game in Las Vegas. Oh my god. I also can't wait for a basketball team in Vegas. You guys know I love going to Vegas, so having a professional baseball team, a professional basketball team in the future would be awesome. I already know they have a professional football team, but dude, if you're a fan of the NFL, do you go to football games? Like one game is like $200 plus parking plus all this other stuff. No offense if you're a fan of the NFL. I do like football, but I'm not like a diehard fan like that, dude. Like, being only able to go to like 1 or 2 games a year, that's so lame. It's so expensive for football. That's why I really like baseball and basketball. It's pretty, I don't say inexpensive, but compared to other sports, it's not that bad. Let's also take a look at some soccer stuff here, with the Premier League going on, and Champions League as well. Let's take a look here. Let's see, where is Champions League. In first spot for Champions League, you have Liverpool. Number 2, you have Barcelona. 3, Arsenal. 4, Inter Milan. Then you have Atletico in 5th. All looking pretty good there. Yeah, Liverpool has been dominating. They've been looking very good in both Premier and Champions League. Arsenal has also been playing very well in both leagues as well. Real Madrid 11th. Dortmund, who I think was in the title game for Champions League last year, is in 10th. It's not looking like they're going to make it there again. PSG in 15th. Some teams, Man City, all the way down in 22nd. That is pretty wild, I'm not going to lie. Real Madrid also being in 11th there. Not looking too hot. Let's see if we can check out some of the matches for the Champions League coming up anytime soon. The next scheduled game for the Champions League is the Champions League quarterfinal, coming up all the way in April. April, man. I mean, I guess April is coming up relatively soon. You have Arsenal playing Real Madrid, then you have Bayern Munich playing Inter Milan, which Inter Milan is the underdog in that game, but they were in the Champions League final. I think 2 years ago, I think they were in the Champions League final. I don't think they were in it last year. I think last year was Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, I think. No, it was Dortmund and Real Madrid, I think. I don't remember. Something like that. That Arsenal-Real Madrid, though, should be pretty fun. The other quarterfinal Champions League game will be Barcelona taking on Dortmund. And they have PSG against Aston Villa. Those games should be pretty fun. And then the next set of games are all the way in April 15th, so it's like literally like a month away. Absolutely insane. They have games getting scheduled all the way out there. And let's take a look at the Premier League, which I also have not been paying attention to at all the past couple of months. I know you guys sometimes like it when I talk soccer on here. I've probably lost a lot of following support because I don't really talk soccer anymore. I just really haven't been into it that year. Can you really blame me, though? Being somebody who's a fan of across the pond, as they say, it's hard to keep up with all that stuff. You have Liverpool in first, Arsenal in second. Holy cow, it is kind of crazy though, with Liverpool having 70 points in their Premier run. Absolutely insane. Second place, Arsenal has 58, a 12-point lead is wild. Liverpool only losing one game in their entire year so far for the Premier League. That is absolutely insane. You have Forest in third and Chelsea in Forest third, Chelsea fourth, Man City fifth. And last place there for the dreaded relegation zone, which if you don't know what that means, they get kicked out of the Premier League. You have Ipswich, I think I'm still pronouncing that wrong. Leicester and Southampton. Holy cow, yeah, it's kind of crazy. Taking a look at the scores and upcoming games for the Premier League. Oh man, there's so many different leagues out there. There you go. April 1st, Tuesday, you have Arsenal taking on Fulham. Forest playing Man United. That could be pretty fun, I guess. They're on their round 30, which just means like it's their 30th set or 30th week, I think, of games. They're starting to wrap up their season as well, which is cool. Any good games on relatively soon? Chelsea versus Tottenham, April 3rd, if that interests you at all. Let's see. We have Aston Villa versus Forest, April 5th. That could be kind of fun. No really good games. Oh, we do have a rivalry game on April 6th, Sunday. Man City versus Man United, even though both those teams are really not where they should be right now. At least in the power rankings of the Premier League. Always fun to see these sort of rivalry teams go at it like that. And yeah, I think the sort of I don't want to call it the playoffs, but like the tournament, the bracket of the championship for the Premier League should be happening fairly soon. But as we already stated earlier, Liverpool has been insane this year. They're probably going to win it all. Maybe some teams can sneak in there, but Liverpool, super dominant in Premier League. And then I honestly really like the run Arsenal's been on in the Champions League. They might be my pick. Doing that this upcoming, I think May, I think is when the Champions League final is. And the last thing I wanted to talk about today, and again maybe if I have time I'll talk some other sports, is March Madness. I am filming this video again kind of earlier in the night. I actually just got done watching March Madness like a couple hours ago. Holy cow, those last couple games for the Sweet 16 were a lot of fun. I think we're now officially in the Elite 8. And I don't want to say it's been kind of boring, but it's been kind of boring. We didn't have any major upsets. Nothing crazy really happened. The matchups were pretty mid. We had Auburn taking on number 5 Michigan, and that game early on was pretty fun, but Auburn did end up pulling away, winning the game by, 13 points to end the game. No crazy finish there. Ole Miss and Michigan State. Now that was a fun game, but still no upset, with Michigan State winning 73-70. Ole Miss was right there. I actually picked them in my most recent video to upset Michigan State, so I was wrong on that one, I guess, but I was really close. A 3-point loss. Come on, man. Florida dominates Maryland 87-71. I think Florida kind of heard the S-word talk I was talking on them. The last video I was explaining about Florida looking a little rough in their last game, which they did against UConn. But boy, they showed up against Maryland, and they're back to looking as dominant as ever. Texas Tech barely scratches by a number 10 seeded Arkansas in overtime. That game, I was also on my Monday, was it Thursday night live stream? I was live on here on YouTube. Couldn't watch the game, but it was apparently a really good one. Texas Tech squeaking by Duke and my favorite college basketball team, the Arizona Wildcats. A surprising scrappy game, but Duke being Duke, beating out Arizona. Honestly, if this Arizona team maybe played potentially any other team, they might have won, but playing arguably the best team in basketball right now, only losing by 7, I'll take it. Alabama crushes BYU. Houston squeaks by Purdue. I think it was a buzzer beater or something like that as well. That was a good game. Still no upset. And number 2 Kentucky smashes number 2 Tennessee smashes number 3 Kentucky. That's the other game I missed my pick on. I really thought like the struggling Tennessee offense would look really bad against Kentucky, but bro, 65 points for Kentucky that game. Tennessee's defense is elite. As long as they can put up points like they did in their last game, 78 points. They had the potential to beat anybody. So that means in the Elite 8, you have Auburn, Michigan State, Florida, Texas Tech, Duke, Alabama, Houston, Tennessee. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and a 1-3 matchup. Pretty much chalk. That's insane. Almost a chalk for the March Madness tournament. Super boring, very dumb, but will the number 1 seeds last? I think as of right now, I think Auburn does beat Michigan State. They just looked kind of meh against their previous matchup. Ole Miss, not saying Ole Miss is bad. Auburn is definitely better than Ole Miss. I do think Auburn beats Michigan State, Texas Tech, and Florida. Same thing, if we get that same sort of feel and vibe, that very feisty Florida team that I missed in that game against UConn, we get that game that they had in Maryland. I think the number one seed again moves on against Texas Tech. If the Duke's defense really locks in on this crazy offensive run that Alabama's on, they can also move on. This I've been saying. I think I said it in my first ever March Madness video. This is the game. This is the game. If Duke was ever going to lose in their March Madness run, it was going to be this game against Alabama. I knew this Duke-Alabama matchup was going to happen. I picked it in the beginning. If Duke is going to lose, it will be this game. If Duke beats Alabama, it might be a wrap. I think Duke might end up winning the championship. Then Houston, Tennessee. That is a toss-up. It's just whatever team we possibly see. Is it that elite Tennessee defense with that curated offense that can kind of hit and miss sometimes if they score enough points while having elite defense? It might be a wrap for Houston. Or is Houston's offense just too much? They figure out that crazy Tennessee defense, and Tennessee just can't keep up offensively. That's going to be maybe my favorite game of the Elite Eight. But yeah, potentially seeing Auburn and Florida play Duke, Tennessee. I think that might be my picks for the matchups for the Final Four. Man, Auburn versus Florida. That's going to be a good game. And yeah, guys, that's really it. Unless you really wanted me to talk hockey, I can maybe talk hockey in my next little run of this video. Maybe you want me to talk some other sort of supporting stuff like F1 racing. You can let me know down in the comments. I've just been really watching a lot of basketball because when basketball season's over, it's the saddest part of the year for me. But it's definitely been a lot of fun so far. I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you guys so much. It's been a lot of fun talking with you guys. I have no idea if this video is going to be an hour long or 20 minutes long. If you guys like these sort of longer videos, make sure again you like the video. I know I used to do 1 hour long versions. If you sort of missed the sort of